All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are now live and underway. Welcome to the show. Hope you guys had an amazing 4th of July. I tried to stream it, but it turned out to be a mess because I'm sure there were thousands of other people at the same fireworks show I was, trying to do the same thing I was. So it wasn't very successful, but I did try to bring you guys with me, and some of you guys were there, but I know it was a lag fest, and that's unfortunate. But welcome to tonight's show. It's Hump Day, and as always, I am joined by my good friend, co-host, the big toe of the portal himself, Mr. Don Longbeard. How you doing?
It's Hump Day. Hump Day.
It is.
Hump Day.
Hump Day. And
doing good.
On the short work week for a lot of you out there. For a lot of people. But, yeah, people are dealing with halfway through the work week, I guess.
Oh, my goodness.
More. Wait, yeah,
goodness.
Well, either way, it's halfway through the work week, isn't it? Wednesday is always the hump day.
You know what's funny is it's not for me. Tomorrow's my hump day because my weeks are Monday through Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's a lot of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, we are here to entertain you as well as we know how. We got a lot of things to cover tonight.
We don't do it well.
we do it as well as we know how. Sometimes it works out brilliantly, and other times it's like dragging a corpse. But either way, we're going to get through this, and hopefully you guys have a good time with us. As always, hi, Mom. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for all of you guys being here. There's several of you in the door already, which is awesome. But
there needs to be several more likes on there.
Ooh, hit those likes, folks.
Gosh,
Don't let them down.
Come on.
All right, but before we go any further, just a quick note to thank, of course, one of the sponsors of the Paranormal Portal. Of course, I'm speaking of Cryptid Coin, ladies and gentlemen. It's a cryptocurrency that has its heart in cryptid research and investigation. It's a really exciting deal, and I know a lot of people are going to cryptocurrencies as an investment opportunity, and I'm really excited about this one. Of course, as I've said many times before, but it's right up our alley. I mean, it's like tailor fit. So I hope you guys will check it out. If you want to learn more about Cryptid Coin and the opportunities there, then go to cryptidcoin.io. That's cryptidcoin.io. And also just a little note to tease some things going on. There's going to be something going on later this month in Stevens County. And we're going to bring you more information about it, but it has to do with Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC.
It's so secret, I don't even know about it.
Well, I only found out just a little bit ago myself, but it sounds absolutely fantastic. And since you just ran in the door a few minutes ago, I didn't have a chance to break it down for you. But there's some really cool event going on up in Stevens County in Washington, and I can't tell you more than that right now, but just to let you know, keep your eyes peeled. There'll be more to come in terms of that. But a special thank you to cryptidcoin.io, which is where you can learn more information about this. It is available on PancakeSwap, so it makes trading even more accessible and easy. So anyway, go to cryptidcoin.io.com, or cryptidcoin.io, not .com. Jeez. For more information, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks to Cryptid for sponsoring the Paranormal Portal. So, Don.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, because I'm ready, and hang on, because it's about to get spooky.
Spooky.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Brent.
Aren't you excited for September?
Yes.
What's going on in September, Don?
I don't know. It seems like a long drive to me, though.
It's going to be a long drive. It's going to be some miles on the road, ladies and gentlemen, but Don and I in September 11th or 8th through the 11th are going to be heading to Phenomicon. This is an event that's going on in Vernal, Utah, and one that we're really excited about because there's a lot going on. This is it's a longer event as far as conferences go, but it's going to be a big one, and we're really excited to be going there. Again, this September 8th through the 11th in Vernal, Utah. If you have space on your summer calendar, by all means, make the journey, because this one's going to be a good one. As you can see on the screen, there's so many incredibly talented people and incredible personalities going to be present for this event, several of which I've never met. In fact, a lot of them I have never met. But we've met a few of these people, Don, and there's going to be some amazing speakers and some incredible activities going on. And if you go to Phenomicon.net, you can see the whole list of activities that are going on in Vernal, Utah throughout the course of the conference. But it's going to be a big one, and we'd love to see you there. If you do come there, be sure to stop by and say hello to Don or myself, or Don and myself, and anyone else that you might know. And get a chance to meet a whole lot of incredible people like Russ Accord. He's a fantastic guy. Dr. Jeff Meldrum was going to be there. Dr. Travis Taylor from the Skinwalker Ranch show is going to be there. And this event is very close to the Skinwalker Ranch as well. And I think there's some things going on having to do with, there's a downtown ghost hunt on Wednesday night. Then there's... again, the downtown ghost hunt, the UFO Valley Campground, dark sky viewing and bonfire on Thursday as well at 7:30 to 11 p.m. Then on Friday, stargazing at the state park. There's just so much going on, and there's a lot of amazing things going on. So I hope you check it out. Head over to Phenomicon.net for more information. You can learn about getting tickets and, a roadmap if you want to drive it, much like we will. But in any case, we'll see you there. So again, that's September 8th through the 11th in Vernal, Utah. Don't miss it.
Infernal, Utah.
It might be warm. It might be. Isn't that the high desert over there?
I'm going to guess yes.
Probably.
I'm going to say yes.
It's going to be a warm one, but if you get there, we'd love to meet you, because by God, that's where we're going to be. Come hell or high water. Don said so.
What?
Well, I thought you did. I thought I heard you say that. Maybe
God,
not.
I just bought a new car.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the news? That's right. It's time for the news. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paranormal Portal News Desk. As you are very familiar with it, it's exactly the same desk we used before, but it's just a new title, new screen to look at. As you're here going through the news with us, as always. And don't you love that theme song?
Yes, it makes me want to boogie.
It makes me want to wear bell bottoms. I saw a guy at Walmart wearing bell bottoms, Don.
Wow.
I mean, he was in the whole 60s gear and everything. He was all sporting the whole 60s look, man. This guy was like totally a throwback hippie type, and it was kind of cool, kind of groovy. Be nice. You say, I mean, I don't know the guy, so I don't want to dig on him, but it was just I hadn't seen that look for like decades. So it was kind of neat. Like, wow, that takes me back.
I remember 60s Day in high school.
You what?
And
60s Day.
60s Day, yeah. And somebody made me a pair of bell bottoms. You know, they cut the seam out of the bottom of it, and they sewed in like this paisley. It was crap. Anyhow.
Was it really? Oh.
It was exactly what it was. It was just silly.
It was silly, but that's the way the 60s were. Apparently, I really wasn't. I
can't remember them.
I was just hatched at the very end of that deal. So, but anyway, the 70s weren't a whole lot better as far as fashion is concerned.
Oh, God,
the 70s were even worse, I think. Not that that's why you're here, but I don't know. I just saw that at I guess, you know, it's like that, like the meme. The people of Walmart. You just see all kinds. You see all kinds of people at Walmart.
Yes.
It's just like I don't know. It's like the food chain is well represented in every aisle. It's like, wow. I don't even know if that makes sense, but
gives a new meaning to meat market, right?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, there's a lot of meat at Walmart. I'll tell you that. But anyway. All right, we're going to go to
I didn't even have to do it.
I know. It's like that's what I'm talking about, my filter. You're breaking my filter, Don.
I didn't do it.
I know, but this is like osmosis. Just being near you is just... All right, the first news story up for tonight's newscast, ladies and gentlemen, is coming from the unexplained-mysteries.com, who's reporting a fisherman catches an extremely rare blue lobster.
Wow.
A blue lobster, Don.
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder if they taste different.
Yes.
They probably taste
That's
a little,
kind of what
little
I was
funny.
Oh boy.
Like a clown, you know.
So
the bright blue crustacean, which was caught off the coast of Portland, thought to be 1 in 2 million.
What?
U.S. fisherman Johan Larson uploaded a photograph of the ultra-rare catch to Twitter earlier this month, where it has since been generating a great deal of interest with over 500,000 likes and 43,000 retweets. Yeah, we go to a ghost town and somebody catches a blue lobster and they're famous.
Exactly.
Go figure that. What's the math on that? It says, while most lobsters are typically red or brown, a genetic abnormality can, on rare occasions, produce an individual with vibrant blue coloration. According to the Lobster Institute.
There's a Lobster Institute.
What is that, right off Red Lobster or something?
Bunch of lobsters in
At the University of Maine, of course. The odds of discovering one of these brightly colored crustaceans is a mere 1 in 2 million.
Wow.
Buy a lottery ticket. Fortunately, in this case, Larson took the decision to release the animal back into the ocean. This blue lobster was caught off the coast of Portland yesterday and returned to the water to continue to grow, he wrote. That's cool. I got to give him a lot of credit for that. At least he got a photo. But that is, I mean, God, do you think that thing is magical?
That's gelatin.
Or radioactive.
Or radioactive.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are they dumping over in Portland, Don?
Well, gee.
I'm just saying, maybe something in the water is making blue lobsters. Could be, but anyway, that's the first story on our newscast tonight. Not really paranormal in the traditional sense, but that sure isn't normal. And that qualifies.
There it is, yeah.
So let's get to the next story up on deck here tonight. And this is, again, from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is another interesting one. It's not what you hear a lot of anymore, thank God, but it's really unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
It's tragic, and this is, I mean, some cultures are very superstitious. And this is apparently kind of a real somber story, actually. A woman in India is killed over witchcraft fears.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yep.
Police are investigating the case of a woman who was murdered by villagers who believed that she was a witch. The execution of someone suspected of practicing witchcraft might seem like a form of barbarism, relegated to the annals of history. However, in some parts of the world, those accused of being practicing witches are still at risk of potentially lethal reprisal. This fact was brought into sharp focus recently when a 70-year-old woman from Jakarta's Garwa district in India was beaten to death by villagers who believed that she was a witch. Oh, good Lord. According to the woman's family, she was dragged out from her home by a group of at least 5 people. Police are now in the process of carrying out a post-mortem on the victim's body. Murder on suspicion of witchcraft is a notorious problem in the region, which, according to statistics from the National Crime Records Bureau, has seen over 590 suspected witches, most of them being women, murdered between 2001 and 2020. Are you serious?
Wow.
Still, I mean, come on, people. Get with the program just a little bit, for God's sake.
Well,
that is just horrendous.
you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens over in India that most people don't know about.
Yeah,
because-
that's true.
And
I mean,
so, I mean, you know.
well, this is just
not
another
surprising.
sad page
Yeah.
in a long, sad history, apparently. But I'm so crushed to read that. Maybe I shouldn't have, but it's just kind of hard to believe that there's still that level of
It's
a fear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just fear. That's people being fearful, and unfortunately, in today's age, that seems to be an epidemic everywhere. But at any case, it is barbaric and horrible, and I hope she's found peace. My God. Ugh. Enough of that one. Let's move on and see what's next. And this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. This is something NASA wants to do, and I think it's kind of actually a cool idea. It's a new idea, but it sounds like it might be interesting. And this is, of course, for exploration. NASA wants to send swarms of robots to swim in alien oceans.
Okay.
I don't know how big these are going to be, but they should probably be bigger than most food, because, it's like a fishing lure, right? The space agency is looking into the idea of sending robots to swim beneath the icy crusts of Europa and Enceladus. NASA has recently announced $600,000 in funding for a study into the feasibility of sending swarms of miniature swimming robots known as independent micro swimmers.
Independent micro swimmers.
That's what they came up with.
That's what I call them too.
That's they're funding hard at work there, Don.
Yep.
To explore the oceans beneath the icy shells of our solar system's many ocean worlds, but don't imagine metal humanoids swimming frog-like underwater. They will probably be simple triangular wedges. Okay. Pluto is one example of a likely ocean world, but the worlds with oceans nearest to the surface, making them the most accessible, are Europa, a moon of Jupiter, and Enceladus, a moon of Saturn. These oceans are of interest to scientists, not just because they contain so much liquid water, but because chemical interactions between rock and the ocean water could support life. Well, there you go. Maybe they'll find some. There's a lot more to this article. If you're interested in it, head over to unexplained-mysteries.com and check it out. What the hell did I just do?
I'll take one.
I didn't want that.
$10.
X. There you go.
Yeah, I don't.
Goodness, don't do that.
I didn't do it. It just did it. It did it on its own, Don.
Well, just don't do it. Wow.
All right, here we go with the next news article. I hope I'm on the right page there. This one is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com without the ad, hopefully, but we'll see how this one rolls. And this is, I don't know. Here's another bizarre one, but bakery receives threatening letter over blasphemous sandwich.
What the hell kind of sandwich is that?
A mysterious individual has taken exception to a bakery's decision to name one of its sandwiches Jesus Christ. Are you serious?
Can I get a grilled Jesus Christ, please?
God, I'm hungry. Jesus Christ. I need a sandwich. Sorry, I am saying Jesus, just to make sure you understand.
Cheezus. Oh, this is S-U-S.
S-U-S, yep. The peculiar complaint was received by the Bridge Baker House in Whaley Bridge, Derbyshire, which offers a variety of sandwiches and pun-infused names such as the cringe-inducing Don't Go Bacon My Heart, and even more groan-worthy Are You Chicken Me Out. Not everyone has seen the funny side, however, especially concerning the bakery's religious-themed Jesus Christ sandwich. An individual claiming to be a member of a Christian group was so incensed by the naming of this particular sandwich that they wrote a letter threatening legal action. Are you serious? Jeez. Our members have instructed us have instructed us to write to you to ask you to remove the sandwich named Jesus Christ from your menu. The letter reads, although our clients would prefer to settle this matter out of the courts, there is clearly a case to answer here.
Can't do that.
No, I don't know.
Well, they're not.
This is in the UK, though.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
The letter's author has sent out even a list of demands requiring the bakery's owners to not only remove the name, but also issue a public apology and donate money to the church. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it's on. Well, you owe us an apology and some cash. We'll be okay then.
Yeah. Here, let me slide my little whatever that collection plate.
Oh yeah. Let's collection plate. Okay.
I was like, what the hell am I saying? What was I going to say? Oh, collection plate, right?
Yeah. I'm glad we got the collection plate there. So upon investigation, however, it turned out that the church had nothing to do with the letter at all.
Oh.
It seems it was from an anonymous, disgruntled member of the local community, the bakery wrote. We would still love to find out who it was and if they had anything to do with the recent vandalism of our menu board.
Ooh.
We really can't be bothered contacting the council to check the CCTV, and if it wasn't done in the dead of night by someone dressed like the Mask of Zorro, we are going to be highly disappointed. They're being clever. They're probably the same guy that named the sandwiches.
Oh, jeez.
They're groaning. You're groaners.
Gosh.
Groaners, Don. Come on. All right, but that's apparently somebody disgruntled over a cheese sandwich.
Yes, Rachel, they're not on wafers.
Yeah. It's a crust. Jesus crust. That's the grilled version.
Yeah.
Or toasted, maybe. Toasted is better. So here's another one from unexplained-mysteries.com. Giant snails put Florida town into quarantine.
Oh.
Look at these things.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, look at that escargot. Boom.
Oh, no.
Thank you. I should name sandwiches. Mom probably liked that one, right? No? I don't know. An invasive species of giant snails has resulted in restrictions being placed on the area. That is really a creepy looking thing, though.
And there's nothing you can do. Once you get infested with snails, you're screwed.
Really? Just put salt all over.
No, you can't. There's salt in the ocean.
No, are these the ocean kind of snails?
Yeah.
Capable of growing up to 8 inches in length, the giant African land snail is a notoriously invasive species that can actually prove dangerous to humans due to its tendency to carry a type of lungworm that can cause meningitis.
Oh my God.
Jeez. Yeah, that's a wonder how they got there. Somebody had a pet, probably got a lungworm and let it go. When an infestation of the creatures was recently confirmed in the Florida city of Port Richey, therefore, authorities moved quickly to establish a quarantine on its residents, which forbids the movement of plants, soil, debris, and other building materials to and from certain zones.
Yeah.
The snails are known to reproduce quickly and have a penchant for eating various types of plants and even concrete. What? They eat concrete, Don.
Wow.
What the hell is this? Making them a menace to both the wildlife and local infrastructure.
Wow. What's wrong with your building? I'm infested with snails.
Get the snails off the bridge. Get the snails off the bridge, quick. When they showed up in southern Florida in the 1960s, it took 10 years to get rid of them. Each snail contains both female and male reproductive organs. Yeah. It's kind of boring. No, I'm just kidding. The United States Department of Agriculture said in a statement, after a single mating, each snail can produce 100 to 500 eggs. These snails can reproduce several more times without mating again. They can generate clutches of eggs every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
A lack of any natural predators in the area is also serving to exacerbate the problem.
They need ravens.
Is that what eats snails?
They'll eat the crap out of them.
Oh, okay. And they probably don't mind a little lungworm anyway.
Nah, probably not.
No, that's it. Those things are horribly gross. You want to watch it, a little video? Looks like a news video.
Okay.
Let's check it out. Let's go to the full screen for the news report on this one, folks. Here we go.
And just when we thought they were gone, giant African land snails, which can lead to outbreaks of meningitis, have been found in central Florida. The Florida Department of Agriculture has been quarantined part of Pasco County and areas north of Tampa. Now, the giant African land snail is one of the most damaging snails in the world and eats at least 500 different types of plants. They have been eradicated twice in Florida. The first time was in 1975. The most recent was last year in Miami-Dade after they were found 10 years earlier. And just when we thought...
Wow.
That's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, slippery little suckers. Yes, maybe. Oh, my goodness.
That's horrible. I mean, if they were... What do you mean they eradicated back then? Maybe
Apparently
they weren't. Yeah, maybe that's the problem, is they weren't eradicated, but somebody was probably going for office. Hey, I got rid of the land snails. Vote for me. You know?
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. I didn't know there was such a thing. That's weird. Very weird. I don't know what a natural predator of them would be, but it's got to be pretty big.
Yeah,
some kind of ferret or something, probably.
Ferret, yeah.
This probably is something like a mongoose or a ferret.
Could you imagine a raccoon picking one up, washing it off?
Yeah, I think they probably would dig them, wouldn't they? I don't know. All right, we'll go on to the next one here, folks, and this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. Bronze fairy world artifacts were unearthed in China.
What?
I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out. Archaeologists have unearthed thousands of Bronze Age artifacts pertaining to a mystical alternative realm. Wow. Discovered in the Sangjidu archaeological site in Sichuan, the most recent finds includes a bronze snake sculpture with a human head, gold masks, a bronze altar, and a bronze box containing jade. Since the 1980s, excavations at the site have unearthed around 13,000 artifacts dating back to the Bronze Age between 4,500 and 3,000 years ago. Many of these pertain to an alternative fairy realm that the people at the time strongly believed in. The sculptures are very complex and imaginative, reflecting the fairy world imagined by people at the time, and they demonstrated the diversity and richness of Chinese civilization, said excavation leader Zhao Huao of Peking University. Interestingly, some of the artifacts appear to have been deliberately burned or broken, most likely for ritualistic purposes. And as with other human societies, ritual breaking and burning is often about a sanctified passage or communion with a world beyond our own. Asian art expert Jay Zhu told Live Science. These burials of artifacts then were perhaps an attempt to move the society through crisis with guidance or help from another realm.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, we should break some stuff now. Maybe they could,
yeah, no doubt.
They could help out around here.
Jeez.
That's wild. Okay. I didn't know there was ever a religion like that over there, but that's really cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe they did commune with other realms. You never know. I think that some ancient cultures probably did, at least on some level. Maybe psychoactively, maybe through meditation or something, but well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you
substances.
mean. I know exactly what you mean.
You communed with a few realms, didn't you?
A few of them, yeah, a couple. At the same time, even.
Yeah. Don, you were a bridge between worlds, brother.
Oh, I was a bridge between something, that's for sure.
All right. Well, there's that. That's new. Hopefully, at the end of these news broadcasts, you leave knowing something you didn't know before you came.
Whether you needed to know
whether you wanted to know it or not, you're getting exposed to all kinds of rich, interesting, tidbits of information. So next up from unexplained-mysteries.com, aliens could be sending quantum messages, study claims.
Why do people find this odd?
I don't know. That kind of makes sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Researchers have suggested that we may be listening out the wrong type of extraterrestrial communications.
Good point.
Boom, what we've been saying for a long time.
Yep.
We don't have any idea that they developed radio technologies as we did. They might have gone a whole different route.
Yep.
So for decades, efforts to scour the heavens for signs of extra or intelligent alien communications have focused on picking up traditional radio signals. However, it's actually far more likely that extraterrestrial civilizations sufficiently advanced to be capable of traveling between the stars will have developed methods of communication that are far more practical over such enormous distances.
Duh.
Yeah. Even communicating with our own space probes in orbit around planets within our own solar system can be a long-winded process, with messages taking minutes or even hours to travel back and forth.
Yep.
Sending a message between two solar systems would be exponentially worse, with even a single message taking years or decades to reach the closest star systems. One theoretical way around this would be to find a way to send messages via quantum entanglement, a phenomena in which the state of one particle in an entangled pair can be changed instantaneously over a distance. While such a communication has yet to be achieved on Earth, physicists question whether it's actually possible to send any data at all via quantum entanglement. Why? You could send a series of bytes on, off, you know? Either it's, I don't know. Anyway. Our digital communications are basically just on or off.
Right,
that's it.
eyes and nose.
So if you can move an atom in one direction to be on and one direction to be off, boom, you've got communication. It is not unreasonable to imagine that an alien civilization might have been able to master it, or perhaps some variation of it. Another possibility would be to use quantum particles to send information, a form of quantum communication that is currently subject to experimentation on Earth, in the hope of creating ultra-secure networks. According to a new study, quantum communication has the potential to work over vast distances through space, not only across solar systems, but also across galaxies. If this is true, then we might actually have had a way to pick up such communications. We could potentially be privy to an entire intergalactic network of messages from all corners of the universe.
Right. Maggie says, I'm 100% certain we're listening for the wrong signals.
Yeah.
I doubt we even know what to listen for.
Right.
You're absolutely correct. Because even if we started listening on a quantum level, what the hell are we listening for?
Right.
What
Well,
are we supposed to take notice of?
I think the only thing we could notice is that, hey, that's not moving in a way that is natural for it to move.
There's
so
a mathematical
Right.
repetition to it.
right. So I mean,
Something.
essentially outside of mathematics, if they understand mathematics the same way that we do, then maybe we can decipher what they're sending back and forth. But otherwise, it's just another language, another tongue.
Yeah, otherwise we're just sending nudes and a mixtape. You know?
And our Netflix password. But other than that, yeah, I mean, there's no way of knowing. I mean, think about the code talkers during World War II.
Right.
The Navajo code talkers. That was basically unbreakable.
Right.
That they couldn't decipher it. So if we did figure out, hey, we're getting a communication from another place, how do we even know we could decipher what it is?
Right.
You know, it could be any number of different kinds of, I don't know. I mean, it's really astronomical. Maybe supercomputers or AI can sort it out. Who knows? Who knows, Don?
Every time somebody brings up AI, I just cringe.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. It's a loaded gun for sure in a lot of ways, but I think there's definitely benefits to be achieved with AI.
Right.
But I think there's also a lot of danger. So that's the conundrum.
Oh, Ghost Magnet says her uncle was a Choctaw code talker.
Oh, very
That's
cool.
kinda cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Next we got breaking news actually tonight.
Oh, Consquatch has been bringing this up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Well,
been-
we're going to get into it now, folks.
All right, let's get into it.
And basically what we're going to be talking about is the Georgia Guidestones. It's a really mysterious landmark in Georgia. That are these rules to recover civilization after an apocalypse, and a bunch of guidelines for it in several languages in each of the posts and in some ancient languages as well. So nobody knows who put this up. Nobody knows who did, but it seems that there's a lot of controversy around it, and there's been a lot of suspicion around these Georgia Guidestones that nobody know who put them up there. Even the only name on record is a faux name or a fake name. There's no way to determine apparently where the funding came from, who put these up, and what was it all about? What is it for? But at 4 a.m. this morning, somebody took matters into their own hands and apparently detonated an explosive device, which destroyed part of them. And the whole monument has since been demolished because of instability due to that explosion. But at any rate, let's get to some news articles about this. And I'm just going to let the news do the talking. So let's check it out.
Story getting a lot of attention tonight. An explosion destroyed part of a popular North Georgia monument that's been the source of a lot of speculation over 4 decades.
Those near the Georgia Guidestones say that they heard a loud boom this morning. Now officials are working to figure out who did it. Fox 5's Eric Perry is live near that monument in Elbert County, where crews have been at that site for over 12 hours now.
Yeah, Courtney, Tom, if you joined us at 4 o'clock, you would have actually seen part of that monument still erected. Within that past hour, crews brought in equipment and they've knocked the remaining portion of it down. You're taking a live look here as they're working through this. A lot of agencies working together on this. We are standing on this side because at one point crews didn't know if there were other bombs that were planted or not detonated earlier. Whether you're in the air or on the ground, the massive presence from law enforcement is unmatched after an explosion jolted those surrounding the Georgia Guidestones near Elberton Wednesday morning.
For the years, we've had messages spray painted on the Guidestones, but we've never had this level of damage ever done to the Guidestones.
Christopher Kuvas is with the Elberton Granite Association. His organization's in charge of maintaining the popular tourist site. He says the county owns the property and maintains security.
One of the wings is completely been destroyed. It's actually laying on the ground. I can see it. And the capstone piece is been damaged, and I'm sure the other 3 wings and the center support probably have damage to them as well.
The attraction was unveiled in 1980 by R.C. Christian and a group who funded the project. The detailed granite work was done by a local manufacturing company, and it's no small feat. The wings are over 16 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and a weight of a whopping 42,000 pounds.
You know, here we are several thousand years later and Stonehenge is still standing. Imagine if it had writing on it and you could read what the people of that time thought was important and wanted to leave for future generations. That's what the Guidestones were.
The stones don't come without controversy. Some found them offensive, like former gubernatorial candidate Candace Taylor, who took to social media in May voicing her disdain. Taylor tweeted more thoughts against the stones shortly after the explosion.
We actually had to install cameras several years ago after the vandalism got so bad. Wow. But, you know, it does break my heart. You know, if you don't like the message that was written on them, you know, that's understandable. That's your prerogative. But, you know, there's no reason to take it away from other people that might.
And back out here live, taking another look as they continue to work. And we're also going to show you on this side, the main road is open back up, but you can just see that massive presence here. ATF on scene, GBI, and also local officials as well. If you know anything about who might be responsible for this, come forward. Of course, you can remain anonymous. That's the latest here in Elbert County. I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
All right, Eric.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of controversy over that.
Yes.
And the R.C. Christian, yeah, that's a pseudonym. And the small group of people that they referred to was called the Americans Who Seek an Age of Reason.
Wow.
So yeah, and you know, I wonder if there was any. Well, these were put up back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was any like permit, you know, that could even be.
As far as I know, people researched it and could only hit dead ends.
Right. Yeah.
Even the person that made the Guidestones
Right.
really didn't have much information
Right.
about who the group was behind it, just this name.
Right.
But when people have investigated, they never were able to find out what was going on, or, you know, because some of the messages were disturbing on there that I think people took
Right.
umbrage with, like, you know, the
Well,
what was it? Talking about the population numbers.
So there were 10 guidelines.
Okay.
On each face there was a different language, and it was all the same thing. 10 guidelines in 8 different languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. Now, around the sides, though, around the edges, there were classic Greek, Sanskrit, ancient Egyptian in hieroglyphs, and some kind of Babylonian cuneiform. So what they said was, number one, guideline number one, maintain humanity at under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number one. That's the one that most people refer to when they talk about depopulation. Yeah.
Right. It seemed to be that there was an agenda. Some people attached to that meaning.
Right.
Oh, this group of and a lot of cabal elitists, a lot of those kind of things are floating around.
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I know there was just a lot of distrust about what those things were saying.
Well, then the next one though, it's number 2 is guide reproduction wisely, improve fitness and diversity. So they want to guide reproduction. What does that mean? Does that mean you can only have 1.2 children? You know, what exactly does that mean? And it says improving fitness and diversity. So, okay, you know, the blending of the races. Yeah, okay, whatever. That's fine. Improving fitness. Yeah, we all need to improve our fitness. But here's where I take issue with that. Look at what they put in our food. How are we supposed to be fit when they put that crap in our food?
Right. And, you know, a lot of people, that's I guess a lot of people are. Now, I did find a video of the actual damage happening.
Oh.
And this is pretty interesting, so we'll get to that now. And this is apparently, this is from 11 Alive, is their webpage, or their YouTube channel. And it's actual video footage of it getting popped. And it's actually kind of freaky, but let's check it out. And it's very short. It's only 43 seconds long.
So it's only showing the
Boom.
explosion itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they must have had the people or persons responsible on
camera.
Yeah, because I
somehow.
mean nobody got that close. I mean, this car speeding away seems to be somewhat of a clue, I guess.
A little bit sus.
Yeah, it's a little sus. Yeah, that's definitely sus. Boom. Yeah, I mean it's quite a shot. That whatever they used was obviously a pretty big charge, because it shattered that one granite block.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's no small feat.
Nope.
Yeah, then there's the car. So whatever that means, I don't pretend to know, but that's kind of freaky. And, you know, come to your own conclusions on it. This isn't about, hey, we think that this means this or this is good or bad. I think I think what it does demonstrate is the amount of agitation that people are getting worked up to now. That those people that were in, you know, some groups or people that were in distrust are now willing to, you know, like, hey, this is gone. We don't, you know, we're sending a message here. And so, you know, that does bother me, because I think the age, it's like being able to talk is like a dying art anymore, you know. Being able to share ideas and constructively discuss ideas is, you know, it's becoming a dying art.
Right.
You know, and that's concerning to me, because I don't, you know, proclaim my own beliefs. This is never going to be what the show is about, but I know that we have people that tune in from all walks of life, all ideas, all beliefs. Yep. And it's my great pleasure to do these shows to all of these variety of people. And, you know, it does make me feel concerned. But at any rate, I don't know. I just wanted to share it with you guys because, of course, it is breaking news. It's a pretty significant event. I don't know what you think of it. Good thing, bad thing, you be the judge. But we just had to discuss it here. But that does wrap up the news tonight. So extra long, but full of some current events as well. So hopefully you learned something good. All right, let's get back to the rest of the show. That song just kills me. Speaking of fashion, that brings me back to the 70s right there. Oof. I almost expect like a kung fu movie to come on right now after that song. Anyway, folks, like Black Belt Jones or something. I don't know. But that was the news. Hope you guys didn't mind. I know we went a little bit longer with the news, but I thought some fun articles and some interesting stuff. And I did want to take a moment to address the whole Guidestones thing. I think it's, it's obviously going to be the talk for a while now going forward. And so we'll see what it means. But I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you all for being here as part of the show, as always. It's an interesting night. I should have kept that open, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm going to have to put some links in the show description because of those video elements. But we've got a lot more to go here. And what we're going to get into now is an article that I found. I thought it was kind of interesting. Hopefully it's very interesting, but I'm trying to find it. Here we go. All right, I found you an article that we're going to discuss tonight, and this is coming from the Occult Museum, which is a site we've visited before on the show. And this one's kind of interesting. It's crossing over 6 celebrities who've had near-death experiences. So Don will be right back. He had to go use the facilities. So crossing over 6 celebrities who have had near-death experiences. Now, we've talked about near-death experiences here on the show many times, and I think near-death experiences are very powerful because they seem to demonstrate that life goes on. And I know there's controversy about that. I know there's differing viewpoints. Some people think, no, it's just a DMT dump at the end of life, and it's hallucinations just to calm you before the inevitable finish. I don't think that that's the case. There's been many people who've had near-death experiences who have apparently gone out of body and were able to witness things going on around, not only there at the site, but relatives at distances away. They were just suddenly able to be with all of those people almost instantaneously. So that awareness and those corroborated stories seems to suggest that it's not just a DMT dump. It's not just a normal function of a dying psyche. It's so much more. And so I always find near-death experiences to be very comforting and reassuring. And I mean, you be the judge. Whatever you guys think is fine for you, but I'm sharing my beliefs. If you like the paranormal tales, check out Brad. Thanks, Buzzacino. I appreciate that. If you want to get my attention, by all means do just like Buzzacino did and do the @Paranormal Portal, or just write the name Paranormal Portal first, and then it helps me to see it, or Don will see it as well. So this is crossing over 6 celebrities who have had near-death experiences. Oof, you okay? Uh-oh, what? What's uh-oh? Oh, I gotcha. Just plopped. All right, Don is doing the active readjustments of things. And let's get to this article and find out what's going on here. Did something break?
No, nothing broke. I got to readjust it a little bit.
Okay, gotcha. So let's get into this article. As near-death experiences seem to lie at the heart of humankind's greatest questions. Why are we here? Where are we going? Perhaps these celebrities have the answers. And this is by Ghost Diaries. Originally did this article, apparently. And I'm not sure who that is, but let's take a look.
If you say Sylvia Brown, I'm going to scream.
No, it's like celebrities that have had near-death experiences.
Okay.
Elizabeth Taylor's the first one up.
There you go. Excellent. Okay.
It says, after the death of her husband, Mike Todd, Elizabeth Taylor clinically died on an operating table while undergoing surgery. She described passing through a tunnel towards a brilliant white light. I find it very hard to talk about, actually, because it sounds so corny. I'd been gone for about 5 minutes. They had given me up for dead and put my death notice on the wall. I went to that tunnel, saw the white light, and Mike. I said, "Oh, Mike, you're where I want to be." And he said, "No, baby, you have to turn around and go back because there's something very important for you to do. You cannot give up now. I'm not afraid of death because I've been there." And that's such a classic story of the whole tunnel of light. And that's where people get the DMT dump is, oh no, it's like going to, if you ever do DMT, there's a thing called hyperspace, and it's literally like going through a tunnel. And usually you'll see a light at the end or whatever. So a lot of people equate that to mean that that's the DMT, but I think it's so much more. Sharon Stone is the next one. And she says Sharon Stone had a near-death experience after she almost died from internal bleeding caused by a tear in an artery at the base of her skull.
Isn't that called an aneurysm?
Maybe, yeah. I know there's a real like grouping of almost like sacs back here that deal with blood flow and stuff into the brain.
Yeah.
And a hemorrhage there is usually very fatal. So the fact that she lived through it is incredible. It says, she said, when it hit me, I felt like I'd been shot in the head. I had a real journey with this that took me to places both here and beyond that affected me so profoundly that my life will never be the same. I get to be not afraid of dying, and I get to tell other people that it's a fabulous thing and that death is a gift. And not that you should kill yourself, but that when death comes to you, as it will, that it's a glorious and beautiful thing. This kind of giant vortex of white light was upon me, and I kind of, poof, sort of took off into this glorious, bright white light. And I started to see and be met by some of my friends, but it was very fast. Whoosh. Suddenly I was back. I was in my body, and I was in the room. That's really powerful. This one I think I heard of, Nikki Sixx, of course, of Motley Crue.
Yeah, he almost OD'd on that one, yeah.
Yeah, he crashed hard, I think.
Several times, but this one, yeah, this is where he became, what's his new band called?
I don't know.
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Okay.
But anyhow, yeah, this is where he really turned himself around.
Okay, it says after his near-death out-of-body experience, Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx kept quiet for years for fear of ridicule. He overdosed on heroin in December of 1987, was thought to be beyond help, before an ambulance crewman administered 2 adrenaline shots to his heart. Sixx later discussed being able to see what was going on around his body during the episode, but admits he was cautious about sharing his story. He told CNN, I saw things I shouldn't have been able to see. I saw the hotel hallway, the ambulance, the limo that was there. I couldn't have seen that because there was a sheet over me. I kept it to myself for years. People look at you and think you're a little bit crazy.
Right. 6 a.m. is the name of his band.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy because, you know, he still hung out with, well, it's like D. Snyder. D. Snyder never drank. He never partied with his band.
Oh,
and they thought he was a stuck-up dick because he didn't party with them. And he thought they were a bunch of dummies because they did, you know. So it was kind of one of those things. And
sure.
So, you know, yeah, that was kind of one of his turning points and all that kind of crap. And,
wow.
You know, but that one sounds more like an out-of-body experience, though, instead of a...
It is, but it sounded like he was clinically assumed to be dead if he had a sheet over him.
Well, yeah.
They must have called it like, nope, he's dead on scene. So the next one is Ozzy Osbourne. And it says, Ozzy Osbourne also reported seeing a bright light after being pronounced officially dead after a biking accident. I didn't know where I was or how long I'd been there. I would drift in and out of consciousness. Other times there would be a beautiful white light shining through the darkness and no angels, no one blowing trumpets, and no man in a white beard. Of course, some would argue that parts of Ozzy's mind have been dead for years. There might be truth to that. I don't know Ozzy, but I know
there's like 3 people in the world that can understand him.
Yeah,
and they're all his family.
I think the man is probably literally has the blood of a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he did just about everything you could get his hands on.
Synthesize his blood, and you could probably take care of every scourge that faces the earth.
Gary Busey's next.
Yep.
Yeah, Gary Busey kind of went way deep end.
Way.
Yeah. So
way deep.
Oscar-nominated Gary Busey had an N.D.E. in 1998. He flipped over the handlebars on his Harley Davidson at 40 miles per hour and smacked his helmetless head hard against the concrete. The actor's skull cracked open, and he slipped into a month-long coma. While he was undergoing surgery, Busey asserts that he saw angels all around him. They don't look like what they look like on Christmas cards, Busey told CNN. They're big balls of lights that float and carry nothing but love and warmth.
Huh?
Wow. So orbs, you know, I see.
Giant orbs.
Maybe some of these orbs we're seeing are actually angelic. That's kind of cool. Donald Sutherland, this is one I'd never heard of. Actor Donald Sutherland had a bout with meningitis in 1979 that nearly took his life. He later explained, "Suddenly the pain, fever, and acute distress seemed to evaporate. I was floating above my body, surrounded by a soft blue light. I began to glide down a long tunnel away from the bed, but suddenly I found myself back in my body. The doctors told me later that I'd actually died for a time." Is there a correlation between near-death experience and paranormal activity, or is it just the chemicals in our brains? What do you think? See, I think there's definitely something profound going on because, it's the old adage, energy isn't created or destroyed, it changes form. So, we can see energetically what happens to the physical body. It becomes part of the world around us eventually. But we can't account for the consciousness. What happens to that? And I think the more that science advances, the more that they're going to just continue to reinforce the spiritual ideas a lot of people have. But there's just going to be a measure for it finally. But I don't know. Believe it or not, those are some near-death experiences. I think it's pretty cool, though. What do you think of those, Don?
I think they're pretty cool. I really do. There's just really not much to say, more to say about it. They're just kind of incredible, and they're a shared story, and that's where we need to keep them.
We need to keep sharing them, absolutely. So that's just a few near-death experiences that I've had that one open forever.
Right.
I've had that one here on my board for a long time. There's another one. Here's one I picked up from an Animalian. Animalian, I think is how you pronounce it. Animalian.com. And I used to love this show that they're referencing in this article. And if you didn't, I don't know how you found us.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't love this show, I don't know how you came to this channel, but thank God you're here. But this is from Animalian.com. It's from June 23rd of this year, and it's by the actual Animalian people. X-Files creator reveals why he doesn't trust U.S. government report on UFOs.
Gosh.
What? Doesn't trust them, Don?
No way.
I know, right?
How could that be? Oh my goodness, no.
I don't think many of us trust the official reports a whole lot, but I mean, there may be merit to some of it, but you can be pretty much sure that they're not going to disclose everything ever. There's just too much information they have in their dark books that we'll just never have our hands on. But anyway, he says the report on UFOs discovered by American pilots not only did not clarify anything for the public, but it's also likely to result in the emergence of new conspiracy theories.
No way.
Since some of its parts turned out to be classified. Chris Carter, creator of the popular X-Files series, writes in his article for the NewYorkTimes.com. As Carter emphasizes, in the current post-conspiracy era, we're post-conspiracy?
Yeah, whatever.
I thought we were still in it, but catchphrases from his offspring have become a harsh reality. But the government still continues to lie to its citizens and hide information from them.
No way.
It's true, Don. It's true.
Oh, no.
It's just, you got to open your eyes to this stuff, Don. You got to wake up. That's all I'm saying.
No, no way. No, the government's here to help you.
It is. But
that's why they take
they're
your
not
money
helping us
and then give you like 10% of it back at the end of your life.
And
then still stick you with all the taxes on top of that.
Well, they tax and then tax and then tax and then tax.
And then you die and you still get taxed.
Yeah.
And then you vote.
And then your offspring get taxed for your stuff that they already taxed.
Right.
Sorry. It's an evil cycle. When we were working on the X-Files preparing the first scenery for Agent Mulder's office, I came up with the poster with a picture of a UFO and the inscription, "I want to believe." And it seems to me this phrase reflects how most people look at the question of existence of extraterrestrial life. They are not that absolutely sure that it exists, but still, they are waiting for some sign that will confirm this. Chris Carter, an American producer and creator of the X-Files, writes on the pages of the New York Times. As Carter emphasizes, the universe is simply too big for us to be alone in it. Meanwhile, in the public domain, not so long ago perhaps, the first evidence that people finally met aliens appeared in the form of videos shot by U.S. Navy pilots with unidentified aerial phenomena. This is how it is now customary to call UFOs in America. The producer notes, and last Friday, a government-organized study of collected materials about unknown objects was presented in the U.S. Congress, the author recalls. We were promised answers, as always, he writes. As much as I would like it, I myself have never seen a UFO or aliens, admits Carter, but because of the X-Files, I met quite a few people who claim to have seen it all. I've seen fuzzy videos of gray aliens walking around in someone's backyard. I personally know an award-winning director who once told me with a serious face that he saw a UFO when he was in college. And Annie Jacobson, the author of the wonderful book Area 51, introduced me to a man who worked at this secret facility for many years and saw how strange aircraft flew and then flew away from the U.S. Air Force Base located there. In general, for 10 years, I became a real magnet for such things, said Carter. The plot of the X-Files was built on a conspiracy theory that the government is hiding the existence of extraterrestrial life from citizens. No. The producer continues. Yeah, I thought that was kind of pretty well known. I don't know what he's disclosing here, speaking of disclosures.
Yeah. He's disclosing his disclosure of...
Must be a DVD set coming out. Do I think the government's lying to us? Well, of course. I'm from the generation of the Watergate scandal, Carter argues. Do I believe in conspiracy theories? Of course. For example, I'm convinced that someone is attacking CIA agents and White House employees with microwave radiation, the Havana Syndrome. Yeah. This is also called the Havana Syndrome. Although our government denies it, but can this new UFO report or any other report from government officials give us clear answers to all of our questions? That's about it. I'm skeptical as always. As Carter recalls, in 1996, Harvard University psychiatrist John Mack invited him to watch a hypnosis session of a woman who claimed to have been abducted by aliens. In 1996, I was invited to the clinic. Why did they repeat it? Of the Harvard psychiatrist John Mack to witness the regression hypnosis of a self-professed alien abductee. I first met Dr. Mack, who studied and ultimately believed in alien abduction. When he came to Fox Studios to discuss his work, I had used a Roper survey he was involved with in a poll of 6,000 Americans on their belief in the existence of extraterrestrials to sell The X-Files as a TV show in 1992, and later read his book Abduction. So I knew something about what was going on, what I was going to see. I went in doubtful, unprepared for the drama of a woman sitting next to me in tears and terror over the encounter with aliens that she described on a beach in Mexico.
Wow.
The experience turned out to be powerful and not a little unsettling. A few years later, Carter happened to attend a conference held in the California city of San Mateo, dedicated to some secret program of the U.S. government. The participants of the event believed that within the framework of this program, the U.S. authorities, among other things, used technologies extracted from captured UFOs to create space weapons.
Yeah.
Outwardly, these people looked like quite respectable and well-deserved professionals. Among them were even ex-officials and lawyers, but at the same time, some of them also believe that the armed forces have secret bases on the far side of the moon, where they secretly hold meetings with reptilians. The producer writes.
No.
That's what I've heard. That's what he's heard too, apparently.
Wow.
According to Carter, humanity has entered into an era of uncertainty in which the truth sometimes becomes unattainable. And this gives rise to a whole host of conspiracy theories, starting with the documentary about the coronavirus called Pandemic, and ending with the idea that we all live in a black hole created by the Large Hadron Collider after the discovery of the Higgs boson. The truth is somewhere nearby. Trust no one, deny everything, the provocative signature phrases of the X-Files said. But this was in the 90s, when we still lived in a relatively common reality. Now these slogans have become the harsh reality of life, he writes. The videos shot by the pilots were not the only reason why UFOs were again in the spotlight. The New York Times also contributed to this in 2017, published sensational material about the secret U.S. Department of Defense program to search for real information about the saucers. Excuse me. According to the producer, all this together resulted in a new government report. Nevertheless, according to the author, the report turned out to be a failure. After all, there are no specific conclusions about where the unidentified flying objects come from and whether they are of extraterrestrial nature and the fact that parts of the document were classified will only result in the emergence of new conspiracy theories. It's all very X-Files style, but besides that, it's also an occasion to talk about some important questions, Carter emphasizes. How did the U.S. Department of Defense manage to keep a secret budgeted project for 10 years, the main sponsor of which in 2007 was Senator Harry Reid? Why was Mr. Reid rejected when he tried to achieve even greater levels of secrecy and asked for physical evidence of the existence of UFOs? Why, finally, did the initiative designed to answer questions about intelligent aliens that come to us from space receive only $22 million, which is equivalent to the cost of filming 3 episodes of the Netflix series Stranger Things? Carter asks. Stubborn skeptics have previously claimed that the UFOs in the Navy provides videos are an optical illusion. That even though the pilots who have seen these objects have described them in detail, reporting that they had no wings, no exhaust, and they performed impossible maneuvers at hypersonic speeds. As he recalls such disbelief, both scientifically based and not, has existed since the 40s when American pilot Kenneth Arnold saw 9 flying saucers over Mount Rainier. But skeptics ask at least one unreasonable question. Why has not a single former or current official appeared in all of these years who is ready to show all the cards, at least on his deathbed? But there have been disclosures.
There's been disclosures, yeah. But the problem is they've also been discredited people before their deaths.
Well, like who's the old Skunkworks guy who said that we now have the technology to bring E.T. home? You know,
I don't know who that is. But
John Rich, I think was his name. John Rich. On his deathbed, or in his sunset days, he said that we have the technology to bring E.T. home. I think that's who it was. I could be wrong, but could that be the government in declaring who it does not know what to think of these phenomena is really telling us the truth, or is the truth at a level even further than top secret? Carter asks. As the producer notes, Barack Obama once made sarcastic jokes about UFOs on television, now admits that unidentified flying objects do appear in the sky, and even Donald Trump, at whose direction the last report began, does not deny that. I think in all likelihood this report will come and go, and with it the mainstream chatter around UFOs, until definitive proof is exposed. A planet that can't come together on climate change or global pandemic might not pay much attention even if wreckage of it or an alien corpse is discovered. The culture wars alone might eclipse it, so rapidly are we in their grips. But what if we had direct contact with actual alien beings from an exoplanet who've traveled light years to seek us out, who have answers to every question we've ever asked? The result would unquestionably change the course of humankind, but would it change us? I want to believe. Ooh, powerful ending. Yeah, that's a good question. So, I have often thought, well, what if they did just finally come and just boom, there's motherships everywhere, and they answered all the questions. They've cured all the disease. Right. I mean, would we still be struggling with the same social issues that we already do? I mean, if you have all the answers, are there still the same questions, Right. I don't know if that makes sense, but it does in my head. So I don't know what you think, folks, but I think that's a powerful take on it. And I love the X-Files, but I don't know that I'm on board with everything he said, but I think there have been admissions and disclosures that were given by people. But like Don said, oftentimes these people were in a state of, being disavowed. Yeah. And I think that's the problem, because that's the intelligence apparatus at work. People are disavowed if they're a threat. Well, no matter what comes out of their mouth after that, that's that one guy they were talking about. So, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Bob Rich. Ben Rich?
Ben Rich?
Bob Rich. Ben Rich.
I thought it was Ben Rich. Yes. I think so.
Yes, Ben Rich. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty big admission to say, hey, we have the technology to bring E.T. home. I'm surprised I remember that name. I'm so bad with names. But for some reason, that one stuck, folks. I'm redeemable. God, it's already 11 minutes after 8.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah. That's how fast it's going. Woo-wee! We move some words here on the portal. And the time is ever ticking by. All right, so there's a few Bigfoot reports that I want to get to, and then I'm not sure what we'll do with we'll probably go through some BFR reports. BFRO. There's a couple BFR reports that I've already pulled up, a couple Class A's. One from, well, it's submitted on October 16th, 2021 from Pennsylvania, Potter County. Potter.
Harry Potter.
And a good one, too, once you train up a bit. All right. I'm going to get another drink quick. I'm a little froggy. That's the problem with having the days between shows, is that I get so used to not talking much. And then during these shows, I could really project my voice because, if I'm talking normally, it's more like, hey, what's going on?
Not for me.
No, dude, you got this booming presence, but my voice is much more quiet.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry, I'm going to interject this real
No,
quick.
go ahead.
You know what's funny is, like, when we're walking around, like when we were in Kelso,
Mm-hmm.
and we met Trace, and we met, I'm the quietest guy in the world. But you get me away from all those people, and Gigi and Titan and Justin can all attest. Don's loud.
Don gets plenty loud, especially if you had a beer.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh no, it's cool. I mean, yeah,
But it's funny, if I'm in crowds, I'm the quietest guy there.
kind of. I've seen you, kind of bubble out and really engage the situation. But I've also seen you kind of sit back and, just see what's happening.
Right? Yeah.
So I guess you got both facets, really. But I'm just not a loud-spoken person.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I mean, right?
No.
I mean, you've talked to me.
I've never really noticed because, nobody can... I just have these big lungs.
Yeah,
They expand. They expand
do.
and expound.
You got that huge rib cage to pull it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Going all Barry White, hitting the Barry White, folks.
Maggie says, I'll get you around some Aussies. I've been around Aussies. They love me.
Yeah, Don was made an honorary Aussie. He was.
Canadians love me too. I can't figure that one out.
Well, go figure. I guess you're a likable guy is what it boils down to.
Whatever. I hate everybody.
Oh, they don't hate you, Don. They don't. I'm not buying it.
Back to Bigfoot.
All right, so we're going to get into some BFR reports that I pulled up. Again, this first one's from Pennsylvania. Apparently, it was from the year of 2021. Apparently. I'm getting that from the top text here. But this is report number 71728, submitted by the witness on Saturday, October 16th, 2021. And this is a Class A, so it means it was seen. It was observed. But let's see what it says here. Again, Pennsylvania, Potter County, Potter. Location details omitted at request of witness. So obviously they don't want to give away too much.
Right.
Because apparently there's not a lot in Potter County.
But it's near Harrison Fox Road.
It's near Harrison Fox Hill Road.
There you
So
go.
if you can find that, you'll be in the neighborhood. Observed. I was at my family cabin in Harrison Valley, Pennsylvania on the 8th through the 11th of October, 2021. My sightings began on Friday evening on the 8th with me and my girlfriend had arrived at the cabin at 8 p.m. When we were parking, we noticed a bunch of deer in the yard, and I began to turn the high beams on the yard to look at the deer. We then went inside and grabbed the spotlight, and I was scanning through the yard and saw 2 sets of bright red eyes walking to the field. I've never seen something like this before, and I'm an outdoorsman and have hunted and fished first since I was 8 years old. I then began to sit on our balcony and look around more after I had lost visual of the shining eyes. I could hear branches being snapped. I had a very weird feeling that I've never had there before at the cabin, that I was being watched, and it was very eerie. On Saturday, the 9th of October, 2021, It's my brother's birthday, October 9th. I was sitting outside on the porch and heard a pack of coyotes start howling. In the 10 years that I've been at the cabin, I've never heard that before.
Wow.
Then I began to hear more branches from different angles. And once again, I had the feeling that I was being watched, and I was not alone. I had also noticed a long impression behind the house that looked like a footprint up against the cabin by the window, but it was not good enough to say it was from a Bigfoot. But at the same time, it was adding up. Then on the 11th of October 2021 at around 9:30 a.m., there seemed to have been an abnormal amount of deer in the yard, and they were all skittish. I began to look around with my rifle scope to see what was causing them to act like that, and I happened to notice something standing at the tree line at the top of the field that was rather tall, and I thought at first it was a bear, as they're common in the area. But then I noticed how it was standing straight up and down. In the head shape was oval like a human's head. I was amazed and could not believe what I was seeing at first. When I put the scope to it, I could see the indentations to the eye sockets. The body was very massive. I continued to hold the scope to it and then began to realize it knew I could see it, and I knew it could see me. I could see it slowly moving its head from left to right, as if it was scanning around the area. I then heard our individual whistles, 4 individual whistles rather, from towards the back of the property. And that's when I noticed another Sasquatch not far from the first, and I could still see the first one. The second one was staying quiet to remain hidden, but it was moving through the bushes on the ground, and eventually it stopped moving as if they had sat down. I watched for about 30 minutes. The property has a big pond and plenty of cover to hide, and plenty of food around at that time. I had to leave, and I left them be. It says, other witnesses, girlfriend was eating.
He witnessed his girlfriend eating?
Yeah, he witnessed her eating, I guess.
Nice.
It was 9:30 a.m., so that was bright morning. So woods and fields a mile off the main road. So that is pretty intense.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I think that's pretty spectacular to have. I mean, most witnesses get like seconds.
Right.
Like 3 seconds is I think the average Bigfoot sightings, like 1,001, 1,002, 1,003 gone. And this guy was able to sit there and watch with his scope, see the activity going on, and see that, what they were doing. And I think that's incredibly powerful because it's such a rare thing.
Right. Yeah.
I was going to look at what the BFRO investigator, B. Christian, said. I spoke at length about his encounter. I found him to be genuine and his account to be very credible. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of reiterating. The lower set of eyes appeared to be bouncing or moving around, and the higher set of eyes whose movements appeared to be steady due to the darkness. The witness could not determine the height of either pair of eyes. I think this is when the red glow was happening.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty wild. It's quite a reiteration.
Wow, yeah.
That's a big one. I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to check out the BFRO feedback on that as well from the investigator. But very cool. All right, boom. So that's in the chat for your viewing pleasure. Let's go to the next one, and this is another Class A, and this was from the year 1978, so it's quite a long time ago. I was just a youngin' then. But let's see, where is it? It's Pennsylvania again, Cambria County. So lots going on in Pennsylvania. They just got their fair share of stuff. That's where I think the famous white Bigfoot was seen over quite a period of time. The albino, as it were. This one is Jackson Street. Nearest town is Conemaugh, I guess. Conemaugh or Conemaugh. And what this person saw was it was in or around 1978 in Cambria County, Pennsylvania. A person's dog got loose and made it to our home as it had done in the past. I decided I'd take a walk through the woods and take it home this time instead of the road. I walked through a section of woods through the trail and down over a small hill into a clearing next to the farmer's field. As we walked into the clearing, the dog was in front of me. It was a German Shepherd, and he was whining and brushing at my legs, not wanting me to go through the field. He did this 2 or 3 times. I looked over at the side of the field where the farmer's fence was and where it broke to next section of woods near an old garbage dump. It was a small one for a home next to there. Okay. There is where I seen it hunched down on the ground leaning forward. Seemed like it was reaching through the fence to the garbage pile. It was all hairy from what I remember. It was kind of like moving things with its hand. Its height by stooping down was at least the height of the fence post that was there. I don't even think it knew I was there. Needless to say, the dog and I turned tail and walked very swiftly away from there. I walked the dog home by way of the street. You also notice this is not the first encounter, although it is the one that was seen more clearly. There was other things happening around the area at this time. Seemed like the 1977 flood. As per theory, that storm must have made this thing come into the area. Must have drove it from the hills, I'd say. Also the noise of howling. I never heard, but I did hear a noise on another occasion at an old Girl Scout camp. Kind of hard to describe in writing, but it went ooh, 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 ah, 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 like a monkey.
Oh, gosh.
Well, and maybe it's like ooh, 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 ah, 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 I guess.
Well, yeah, but
Like a monkey. Yeah.
Well, I doubt that. But
I'd say that I was with my brother. I'd say I was with my brother-in-law, and he said to me, "Let's get out of here." That was the noise I'd heard before he'd seen that thing. It made his hair stand up on the back of his neck. We ran out of there, leaving one of our friends there. When Dave came down, Joe asked him if he'd heard anything, and Dave said no. Other witnesses, no. Other stories, yes. Throwing stones at two friends one morning around 1 or 2 a.m., one rainy night, when they went for a walk. They came running back saying it was following them back coming through the woods. I also seen one night a form that completely blocked out a window from, I'd say, the chest area down. My brother says he'd seen its eyes and said they were like red and glowing. We were kids then, but I do have other stories to tell, but no more sightings, just things that have been told. And it was early morning around 9 or 9:30 a.m. Again, it's another morning vision of these Bigfoot. I think we're very conditioned to think that these beings are nocturnal, but I don't know that they always are. I think maybe there's some activities that they do nocturnally, but there's so many daytime sightings that would suggest that they're maybe up and moving during the day just as well.
wouldn't shock me at all.
Right, like maybe when they're gonna do like their clan hunts or whatever, they do it in the dead of night because there's no people around and they can really corral animals in and stuff. I don't know, but I mean, they seem to have really good night vision, like that's not a problem. But it's surprising the amount of daytime visions there are of these things, or sightings. Like road crossings, broad daylight, boom. It's like, why is it traveling now if these things are nocturnal?
Right.
It's kind of like seeing a deer during the day. It's a real oddity, but there's probably just as many daytime sightings as there are nighttime encounters, and probably more, to be honest with you, on the BFR. I wonder if somebody's ever sorted out how many nighttime sightings are there versus how many daytime sightings, and if there's more of one or the other, or does it seem to be, maybe much like their diet. They're not carnivores, they're not herbivores, they're omnivores. So maybe the same is true for their activities.
They're not nocturnal, but
right.
Not all daytime. Yeah, so that's a good point.
I've never heard anybody talk about that before, but it just occurs to me. We've got two Class A's now in Pennsylvania, and they both were at 9:30 a.m.
Right.
I
got to say though, I mean, primates normally aren't very active at night anyhow. They're not really nocturnal, but
I thought gorillas were.
If you got to do, you got to do, So,
yeah, maybe.
We're having a clan meeting. Guess what time it is? The dead of night. Okay, all right, I'll be there, I'll take a nap,
Sure.
do what Dad got to do.
Yeah. Interesting. Any thoughts in the chat? Let us know if you want to contribute to this discussion. By all means.
Eric Purple Hobbit said his was during the day, 9:30 a.m.
Wow.
His a.m. is just a real late night. Yeah, that's true. 9:30 a.m. is just a really late night.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Like, maybe they don't just obey the Paranormal Portal think sentries. Sure. Like, but the sentries should be like around the sleeping members, right? But these are like crossing roads. These are like digging through a dump, getting a snack, or something. It doesn't.
Getting caught walking across fields at midnight. Yeah.
And maybe like in the case of this one digging through the dump, it was maybe they were the whole rest of them were sleeping. Maybe
it's just wanted a snack.
Right. Maybe it was like, yeah, it's just right here. That could be. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. That's certainly a lot of people have talked about sentries being a big part of how they stay safe as the families are sleeping.
Ninja Dave says about 50-50 my sightings night versus day.
Okay.
So
well, there you go. Yeah, that's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Eddie Rodriguez, new name in the Ninja Dave 1970 and Eddie Rodriguez, new names to me.
Yeah,
Hi,
nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming in.
Eddie Rodriguez says possibly a daytime for picking berries and hunting.
Yeah.
And stuff, and nighttime for traveling. That's actually that's
a good take.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Really good point, because there's a lot of sightings of them in the daytime around berries.
Right.
And maybe they need the daylight to really discern which are the good ones.
Yeah, they're like, are these red or blue?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I don't know. I don't want to eat those purple ones again.
It kind of hurt my stomach.
They give me gas. Yeah. That's why they call me Skunk Ape.
Oh, God.
Sorry. We're here all night.
I can believe traveling at night. Sure. Yeah.
It seems to make sense. Yeah. I think it does. It's just a curiosity, but I guess that makes perfect sense. Maybe when they move into an area like that, like you're suggesting, they travel during the nighttime, obviously to avoid, as a family, to avoid issues, especially when moving the younger ones and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
That's more of a liability. So they're probably going to travel in a group, which means there's more of them to see. So if it's at night, they're not likely to be seen.
Right.
But when they're in the day, and if they're in their area, their feeding area, because what I envision is that they have a range, like a pretty big range, like a grizzly, a pretty huge range, and they probably move through this cycle throughout the years of the year through their range, like knowing where to be when the berries come in, and where to be when the deer come down, or for watering or estrus or whatever. I mean, there's so many things that have an annual cycle, and so I'm sure their travels probably are dictated by where the food is.
Right.
But that's interesting. Interesting point. Yeah, I see. That's why I love this. You guys bring a lot to the table. Yep. No, it's brown berries. Them brown berries.
Brown berries.
Yeah, I've hatched a few brown berries.
Those are about the size of moose poop.
Yeah, that's cute. All right, so gotta love some berries. Be careful about berries. But again, any of you want to pitch in on the discussion, 720-923-0500. The number's posted actually right in the chat. It's not on this. I don't have the bars up right now for this lower thirds while we're in this panel. But if you want to call in, check the chat. The number's
pinned to the top. It's pinned to the top.
It's pinned. It's always pinned. Yeah, but that's an interesting take. We'll go back through some more BFRO reports in a bit, depending on where we're at. Where are we? 8:30?
Berries. Yeah, 8:30. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
How in the hell did the time go so far?
I don't know, but I'm starting to.
Starting to what?
Fade.
Don't you fade, Don?
I'm doing my best.
You have no permission to fade. You shall not fade, Don. Can I get a witness?
Drop and give me 50. Hell no.
I was doing preacher mode.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The Lord said unto you, you shall not fade away into the darkness. You shall rise. Did it work?
All right.
Oh. All right. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, let's get to the next one. And this is from phantomsandmonsters.com. And this is Lon Strickler's site. Fantastic site full of great stories and encounters people have sent in or Lon has collected himself. But there's a number of really fascinating reports on his site, phantomsandmonsters.com. But they also have research projects that they're doing in a coordinated effort with several other people across the nation and possibly in other countries as well. But check out phantomsandmonsters.com and also check out Lon's podcast, which is Phantoms and Monsters Radio. And you can find all that information on phantomsandmonsters.com. But we're going to report an article here. It's called, what?
Rachel says, when I was a kid and a serious rock hound, I found what I thought was an interesting rock. Turned out to be gopher poop.
Look at the texture.
What's that smell? Clue number 1.
All right, let's go. All right, this is from phantomsandmonsters.com. And this is harrowing Bigfoot encounter, Bankhead National Forest in Alabama. Wow. Alabama. Did you like that? I put a little twang on it.
Harrowing or harrowing?
I think it's in my vernacular it's harrowing.
Harrowing, okay.
But it might be harrowing to other people.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're working in a field, it's probably harrowing.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
To harrow. Never mind.
Got nothing. I still got
Swords to plowshares.
Sorry, crickets.
Yeah.
I don't have a real worldly view. Sorry. I'm a sheltered man. A young Alabama man had a harrowing encounter with a massive Bigfoot while hiking back to his truck after a day of fishing. The creature became agitated, warning the witness with a loud, aggressive growl. Yeah, that'd definitely got to get you nervous.
Yeah.
The following account was forwarded to me. I've never told anyone about a sighting I had when I was 18 years old, about 5 years. What? 18 years. When I was 18 years old, about 5 years old? Does that mean 5 years ago?
I think it's supposed to say 5 years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. I later told my dad on our way to work, and he told me he'd seen the same thing.
Wow.
He told me there's something in the woods of Bankhead National Forest, which is in Winston, Alabama. I've only told my fiance and my father this. It really freaked me out, and I'm an outdoorsman. I hunt, fish, and spend most of my time in the woods. Well, on this particular day, I was going wading, walking in water and fishing at the same time. My buddy, who I usually go with, couldn't go because his son and wife were sick. But it was a beautiful day, so I decided to go on my own. I had a good day, caught a lot of fish. I was getting late in the evening, so instead of fighting the stream back up, I decided to take the trail back, which it was about 1.5 miles back. I was hiking down the trail, and I had an unnerving feeling that I was being watched or stalked. I paused for a moment because every single hair on my body was standing up, and I had goosebumps like crazy. I also noticed this musty and fish-like smell. I started scanning the area to see if there was a predator and how to assess the situation. I was also wondering if I was being spooked by the harmless forest animal. But about the time that it was nearly dark, I could still see fairly well. I was looking through the tree line, and that's when I saw it. I glanced back to see if I was actually seeing what I thought I was seeing. It was hiding behind a tree, kind of grabbing the side of it. I made eye contact with it and started to get really scared. I've never seen anything like it. This creature was every bit of 9 feet tall with dark hair. I started to panic. Was having short breaths, like when you're terrified. I started to slowly back up. Then it suddenly stepped out, like it was agitated. The beast let out a loud growl. As soon as that had happened, I turned and ran as fast as I could down the trail. I didn't stop at all. I dropped my pole and tackle box on the run. I don't remember dropping the stuff, but when I got to the parking lot, I got in my truck and cranked it up. I wanted to get the heck out of there. Then I heard it again, but it was like a loud whoop sound. I charged out of there. I still haven't gone back to this very day. I never believed in cryptid creatures until that day, and I hope I never see it again. My dad told me one time that he's witnessed a man-type creature running and that it cleared the road in just 2 steps. There's something in that forest that was a freaky situation to go through alone. I believe I encountered a Bigfoot, but I've never heard of them being aggressive and growling. Well, you haven't heard much then. There's plenty of growling stories.
Right.
That's what I had witnessed when I was a young guy. That's all I witnessed was the sound. But it was enough to make me pretty sure that I was going to die. I keep saying that, but I mean, I can't tell you how absolutely frightened I was. I was so scared.
It sounds like this person here was more scared than, anything because it doesn't sound like it was being really aggressive.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
it's just being curious.
Right.
More curious and
But the
mischievous.
growling is kind of aggressive, don't you think?
Yeah, growling would be slightly yeah, it would be aggressive depending on what's going on, but
Yeah.
I don't really see this as that way. So more of curiosity, I think. So
Right. Well, it is. I mean, I think you're probably right. I think that's probably their motivator most of
Right.
all.
Yeah.
Is just to see what we're doing and how do we react. And maybe it's a rush to them for them to see us run like
Right.
like scared kittens.
Right.
Like we just can't get out of there fast enough. But I mean, if it's just again imagining what does 9 foot of angry look like, and huge, 9 foot and huge, not just tall and lanky, but built like a truck
Yeah.
or a
Well,
building.
do you have that picture of us in Kelso handy?
I don't know. I'd have to dig for it now.
Yeah, that's all right. Then don't, yeah.
Yeah,
don't-
but we took that was about an 8 foot, right?
yeah.
That was
And
an 8
so-
foot. But I mean, it's certainly gave me a scale
Right.
to understand. But I mean, even than that the face is very benign. But what if it was looking at you and pissed?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the big angry guy at the bar that's a mean drunk.
Right.
And that he's brawled a whole bunch in his life and would have no trouble whipping you around like a pair of nunchucks into tables. So
Puny God.
yeah, puny God. Yeah, like Hulk. Exactly. So I don't know. I mean, a growl would certainly, if it was just whistling or whooping or whatever, okay.
Right.
But when you hear a growl, that's kind of a universal, like, get the hell out of here sound.
Sounds like Ninja Dave needs to call and talk about his experiences on the podcast for the podcast.
Oh, yeah, Ninja Dave, if you got a bunch of experiences, you can certainly email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to interview you for our podcast. And the Paranormal Portal podcast is a pretty big deal. I mean, I'm really proud of how well it's grown and how many people are checking it out, but I'd love to talk to you about your experiences. If you want, again, the email is pinned at the top of the chat as well. So, Ninja Dave, if you want to email me, that'd be cool. Love to hear what you've seen and experienced. So he says, my sighting Saturday, July 2nd was in the daytime and like a black ball of fuzz. Low to the ground, running like a spider on all fours. Like seeing someone riding on a skateboard on their belly. Wow. I think that's kind of how Wes talked about his encounter.
Yep.
And I think he was one of the first people ever to talk about it.
Yeah,
Most,
because he got laughed at about
yeah,
it.
most people mocked him about that, but
Spider crawl?
yeah, the spider. Oh, they crawl like spiders. Yeah, I think he took a lot of heat for that, but I have no doubt that he saw what he said he saw. And I mean, there you go. That's another witness that saw the same kind of behavior.
Right.
So that's very reaffirming. But yeah, it's really crazy. Oh, Consquatch podcast is thumbs up. Thank you.
It is.
Thank you, Consquatch. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, but I mean, I'd love to talk to you. Any of you out there that have, significant experiences. If it's more than just what you can cover in a phone call to the show, email me. I'd love to talk about all that you've seen and what you've been through, and share it to our listeners. I will tell you this: one phenomena that has always been really apparent is that the sharing part of it is very cathartic for the people sharing. A lot of people I talk to have not talked about this stuff to anybody. Right. So, and so commonly I hear, God, I've been carrying this around for 20 years. It feels so good to finally talk about it.
Right.
But the other thing that it does is it puts the information out there so people can compare between other accounts, and it does establish a behavior pattern that maybe we can learn something from, and B, it also emboldens other people to share their experiences.
Right.
I've gotten so many people reaching out to me to be on the podcast. They're like, I was listening to your show and I thought, what, I should finally do it. I should talk about my experiences. And so it really is a self-perpetuating enigma, which is really cool. So please, if you've got something to share, and here's the thing, a lot of people think, well, my stuff isn't really that interesting. If your cereal bowl moves, that's huge. I mean, because cereal bowls don't usually move by themselves. That is demonstrating something absolutely phenomenal happening. And so even the more mundane, quote unquote mundane things are nothing short of spectacular. And I've had plenty of people come on and share, a bunch of their more mundane kind of things. And I find them just as interesting as the, over the top poltergeist house kind of stuff.
Right.
Each one each experience is unique and brings something to the table. So don't think it has to meet a Hollywood level of interest, because I'm interested in hearing about all these things. So yeah, if you want, email me. I'd be happy to talk to you. And if you want to be on the show, you are welcome to be on the show. So we got about 15 minutes here. Yep. We do have a call. Looks like might be D.
I'm pretty sure it's D.
Is it you, D?
It is D.
Yeah, that is me. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting over being really sick. I have been off refined sugar and refined flour, and been cleaning up diet for a while, and then I got talked into eating some Wendy's. Oh man, did I get sick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff. Once your body gets used to not eating it again is a whole. It's like like doing a wrestling match.
That is the last time, I swear, I will never be able to go by at Wendy's and ever look at it the same.
I had Wendy's for breakfast.
3 days.
So what's on
I've been sick for three and a half days.
I'm sorry. Well, I hope you feel better
Not
soon.
being able to feed,
So what's on your mind tonight?
not being able to hold down food.
Yeah.
Anyway, the good news is, not to change the subject, but I'm going to change the subject. Georgia Guidestones got blown up.
Yep,
Yeah,
we talked about that.
we covered that in depth just about in the last
I
hour.
missed that part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But the cool thing is, now that is a sure sign to me.
Okay.
That's a sure sign. Things are changing, really changing in the world. I think that was a very positive sign. And I think we can expect things to change a lot faster now, because we've got, I have been likening it to seeing road signs along the way when you're going to the park, when your kid going to the theme park. And how we're saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? I think we're almost out of the BS, I think we're almost out of the, how can I say it? I think our parasites are just about out of here.
Well, here's
As a matter of fact, getting messages that they're gone.
Well, it's.
So
I really hope so. I mean, I think everybody can agree that we've been going through a weird period of time for the last several years, and I think we all could use some good news, because it's been a long time of bad news.
That's true.
According to my readings, and I'm not the only one who's getting this, they're gone. They've left the planet. All we've got now is lackeys, and they're going to have to be cleaned up. But basically, what we're seeing is lackeys. We're not seeing them. They are trying to come back, and this is several people that do readings and stuff are getting this.
Oh, good.
So I am happy about this.
Yeah.
A few days ago, I got, it's over, we've won.
Oh, good.
Psychically. It's like, oh, wow, celebrating. We were all celebrating on my show. Yay.
Oh, good. Yeah,
So we're going to see signs now, more and more signs. That it's over.
Well, that's from your lips to God's ears. Let's hope that that's the case, because I think we're all pretty road weary after this last few years, for sure. We've been yeah, it's been quite a phase of transition. So hopefully you're right. I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's been a heck of a long haul, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and I know everybody's been run through the mill. I mean, everybody. It's not just some people or some. I mean, it's everybody has been dragging the chain for so long, and it's good. I've always I've always been hoping through this whole conundrum that, this was a phase of transition for us to, move into maybe a higher vibration, maybe a better state of reality, maybe, any number of esoteric possibilities. Yeah. But I sure hope that that's the case.
Whatever you want to call it, I can tell you, as far as every bit of information that I'm getting, that is what's happening. And I am so happy.
Yeah.
Keep a positive thought. Keep your vibration high. Yeah. And let's keep the ball rolling, because we're going to see more and more of this. And then within the next year, actually, you're going to see even bigger changes around October. And then by the end of the year, it's going to be seriously on. You're going to, and by the way, we are the disclosure to each other.
Oh, sure.
We are disclosing to each other. We are the disclosure. So as long as we keep disclosing to each other, it can't be stopped.
Right. And I think there's a lot of merit to what you're saying, because I think some people are waiting for this official, quote unquote disclosure, and I don't think we really need that anymore. I think that there's enough information out there, and there's enough people talking, like you're saying, that we don't need this this overlord or over managing body that says, yes, you're right. We just need each other, and we need to. It's a great takeaway. Be positive. I agree, and thank you for sharing that, because I think that's something we need to hear more, especially now.
Well, glad I could bring that to you. Okay, love, and like I said, keep a positive thought. You remember you're divine, people.
All
love
right,
you. Bye-bye.
All right, love you too. Get better.
Dee.
We'll see ya.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I'm sorry she's been sick.
Yeah, she said she ate Wendy's. It's like, yeah.
I love Wendy's though.
I'm sorry, Dee. I literally had Wendy's for breakfast, and I could not have been. Well, I could have been happier if I had something homemade. But
well, sure.
Wendy's is a close fourth or fifth.
Sure. I just love those classic triples. Are just like, oh my god.
They're not called classics anymore.
Oh, I don't care what they're called.
They're called Dave's triples.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that last time I was there.
They're
I don't eat them
classics.
often, like maybe once a year, but when I have them, it's just like, it's my happy time.
Yeah.
I love those classic Dave's triples or whatever the hell they are. They're still 3 layers of fun in every bite.
I had their breakfast potatoes, and they're dipped in their gravy is pretty smoking hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds pretty numb.
Burger King.
I'm actually.
I like Burger King. Burger King is my number 2 hamburger.
Yeah, that's okay. I got really sick on Burger King that one time. You had to host the show, remember?
Oh yeah. That's right. That was when we were still upstairs. Yeah. It was Captain My Captain was the name of that show.
Yeah, I ate a classic chicken sandwich that might have been actually classic. It might have actually been classic. They might have pulled it out the deep freeze for me, but I paid for that one for 2 days. It was miserable, but. Don and Paisley actually took over the show for me.
No, she wasn't in there.
No, she was with you when I went to Minnesota. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, we were here in the home base.
That's right. That was actually in this part. Yeah. We were already down here, weren't we?
Yeah, that's
It's been forever ago now.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So. But I think we've done an epic journey here tonight.
Did. I think
we've got about 5 minutes left, so. What should we? Oh, Dee's still on the phone. Dee, you're still on the phone. Doesn't look like you disconnected yet.
She's chatting away.
Oh, is she good? Okay, just to let her know. I thought we had another call. I was like, oh, let's get to that, but nope. There she goes. She cleared the line. But yeah, it's a phenomenal time. I don't know. I sure hope we're in for a good thing now,
right?
Or at least on our way to the good thing, because God, we've all been run through the ringer for years, folks.
Yep, years, literally.
And here's the thing. I just remember this, because we really have been run through hell. We've been dragged through broken glass for years. Yep. And I have to tell you personally, I'm so proud of how well so many people held it together in the face of all of that. And, here's to hoping it doesn't get worse before it gets better. But, I mean, we need a break.
Yeah. Yeah, we need better weather because the rainstorms we've been having the last couple nights here have just been out of this world. We need better weather. We need to be able to go outside and act like plants instead of mushrooms. Not that there's anything wrong with mushrooms per se, but
well, Don, if you're a mushroom, you're a fun guy. Thank you.
You're turning into a clown.
Oh.
Anyhow, but and that's part of the problem is people are, and sad they're suffering from seasonal affective disorder still into the summer because of this. It's it's getting better, but it gets worse sooner too. So I think there's been a lot of manipulation.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't pretend to know a lot about it, but I've certainly heard the tales.
Yeah.
And there might be. I mean, there's been some really strange weather.
You know what I think is funny is the increase in mosquitoes the last couple of years too.
Oh, God, that's
the
not funny.
mosquitoes populations have been just extraordinary, out of this world. And how do they blame a lot of these diseases and things for getting around?
Yeah.
Oh, mosquitoes, they carry diseases. Well, so do rats and everything else.
Yeah, everything.
But
people
all of a sudden,
carry diseases.
Boom, we have this influx of mosquitoes.
A lot of water, right?
And then we end up turning up with like monkeypox, which, by the way, I haven't heard about lately.
No, thank God.
So, yeah, that's been fun.
I'll tell you what, I'm the person that will run around and catch bugs, put them in a cup and let them outside. Like I'm all about letting things live because I figure if things are fighting to survive, I should, try to encourage that. But I'll tell you what, I'm a serial killer when it comes to mosquitoes. I have no pity at all for smashing those things into ointment.
Into a little glue.
Oh, God. Goo. Yeah, I mean, I even got one of those electric rackets, and I go out in the yard and just go out and go on a killing spree.
I'll kill all of them.
I'm gonna take away your family tree.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, yeah, absolutely. I don't have any problem with reducing this mosquito numbers. So
there you go. Yeah, no doubt.
But I try to be friendly and nice to everything else. Although I'll tell you what, I was in the bathroom the other day.
Oh God, this goes shit out.
No, this is what happened. I was in the bathroom. I'm looking in the mirror. I think I was shaving. And I was shaving, and I'm looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden, I'm looking at myself.
Right.
And this little quarter-sized spider comes down right next to my head. I'm like, yeah. And I look over, and it's one of those that have the little boxing mittens.
Oh, right.
But like a hobo spider or something.
Yeah, you want to kill that one.
I did.
Good.
Because I was like, oh, my God, I think he was attacking me. So I grabbed some Kleenex, and I gave him a quick death. But I was like...
Did you flush him down your bidet?
Yeah. I sent him to the porcelain hell. But I was like, no, if he's taking shots at me like this, no. I mean, he should at least have a healthy fear that I'm around.
Yeah, no doubt. Bradley Rogstead says, bring back DDT.
I'll tell you what, man. But
it was so safe, everything. They were spraying kids in pools.
Oh, God. Yeah. And almost killed the bald eagles. They almost decimated the entire bald eagle population. But I'll tell you what, folks, that's been a 2-hour Paranormal Portal show. I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. We'll be here Friday night. You'll be back, right, Don?
Yes.
All right, so Don and I will be here on Friday nights, and then I'll be here with you Saturday. But I hope you guys will join us then. We do these live shows Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 2-hour shows. Friday, Saturday shows do have commercial breaks because we're also simulcasting on other networks, and they have commercials, so we have to stay in tune with that. But otherwise, find our podcast. It's Paranormal Portal on Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Podbean, Stitcher, Castbox, Google Play, all over the place. Look for the Paranormal Portal. It's a whole different show than what you're watching here.
Absolutely.
So we'd love to see you support us over there as well. And thank you to our members, all those of you who decided to become members. Thank you so much. That helps us a bunch because we got to keep the lights on. And that's certainly going to go a long way to making that happen.
Obviously, you can see the lights are like dim because we got to keep the bills down right now.
No, that's just my intellect.
Dim.
Little dim. But anyway, folks, that's all we got for you tonight. Don, anything in closing?
Nope. Just don't forget another way to say to
support the show.
Support the show is by going to Teesprings because our friends FRINDS. Did you hear me say N-N-D-S?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So our friends is a 15% discount for your Paranormal Portal gear.
Absolutely. Check it out. The link is in the description, and there's that the shelf below
below
the video if you want to check it out there. That goes a long way to help us as well. So any way you can help, and simply just sharing these episodes goes a long way. Hitting like, leaving a comment on the videos that aren't live,
The
that
salt
helps
must
us
flow.
a bunch. What?
No, it's the spice must flow, but I understand your meaning.
All right, folks, that's all we got time for you tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube. Look for you then. See ya. Good night.
Night.
Sweet dreams. Take care. Love you.
Think of land snails. Giant land snails.
I don't want to think about land snails. That's it.
Good night.
Good night.